His name is Garren Lofgreen. Please give him a warm welcome.
All right, so I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me about her experiences in med school. She was telling me how some of the guys in her classes will go out to drink before a big midterm. Apparently, they say the alcohol helps them take the edge off. I'm thinking these kids are smart enough to get into med school, and all they care about is, oh man, I got to finish this test on liver diseases so I can go out and get wasted. Man, it's gonna be crazy. Feel free, if I get drunk enough, feel free to like slice me open. See what happens if I mix a vodka, a Red Bull, and like turpentine. Man, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, what's gonna happen when they graduate and become real doctors? Scalpel, clamps, Jägermeister. Or, they could become like anesthesiologists. Okay, what have we got here? Looks like massive internal bleeding and several broken bones. I'm gonna need 100 cc's of propofol mixed with 50 cc's of ethanol and vermouth. And if you could bring something for this guy, it looks like he's in a lot of pain too. I don't know. Yeah. On a completely unrelated note, have you guys noticed how you can't just go into the grocery store and buy a carton of orange juice anymore? I mean, it used to be there were two choices, pulp or no pulp. But now I go in and faced with a decision so difficult, I actually decided what I was going to major in before I decided what kind of orange juice I was going to buy. I mean, it added a whole new meaning to the word concentrate. I mean, you've got no pulp, super extra light pulp, light pulp, medium pulp, extra medium pulp, then all the way up. Then at the very top, they have this orange juice out of Italy called Holy Pulp John Paul II, which is kind of cool. So, I don't know, maybe the idea of all these choices of pulp sounds appealing to you, but have to say this story is unfortunately mostly pulp fiction. So my parents have one of those Southwest Airline credit cards, so whenever they spend money, they get points, and they can use the points to get like free flights. Well, sometimes they'll let me use the free flights to fly home for holidays or whatever. For example, my freshman year, I got an email saying, hey, Garren, we had enough points, so I went ahead and reserved you a flight home for Thanksgiving and one for Christmas while I was at it. I was like, no, that's cool. Like, I appreciate it. My mom, looked up my schedule and reserved the flights. It was great. But then it started to get like a little Twilight Zone. Like I got this email in January 2009. Said, hey, Garren, we had enough points again, so I went ahead and reserved a flight for you on October 23rd at 6 p.m. You'll have just finished a research paper. Your boss will call saying you don't need to come into work that night, and with a 20-minute delay due to an early snowstorm, you'll get here 36 minutes before your niece is born, which gives you enough time to get flowers and a card for your sister. Like, wow. All right, I mean, maybe she could have made some calls or checked a weather report 9 months in advance. I don't know. But this last one I got, it still has me on edge. A little uneasy. Said, hey, Garren, we had some points again, so I went ahead and bought 4 tickets for you in the year 2021. One for you, and one for your wife that you haven't met yet, and one for each of your twins. The flight leaves from New York and arrives in Jackson County, Missouri. Make sure you bring your keys. So I'm just hoping they have chips and salsa on that flight, because I love chips and salsa. I think it started when I was a kid. One of my friends was like, "Hey, you should try these." And the first time I did, it was so spicy. I started coughing, and but then I just couldn't get enough of them. Had to hide it from my parents though, so I'd eat all these breath mints to try and mask the smell of cilantro and onions. But then, one day my friends and I, we went to this restaurant, and we ordered the chips and salsa, and once we finished them, they were like, hey, we're gonna get quesadillas, you should try one. I was like, whoa, I'll do chips and salsa, but anything more just seems irresponsible. And but no, I did. I tried a bite when nobody was looking, and man, it was like euphoria. My head was spinning, my heart was racing, and my friends were like, hey, solve this problem, and I couldn't. I looked up on Wikipedia what happens when you do drugs, and that was one of the things it said. I don't know, so that's where that came from. Anyway, back to the joke. So I ate this quesadilla, and then I just wanted more and more chips and salsa. I just had the munchies all the time, and so I was eating these quesadillas, but then they weren't enough. So I started eating tacos and chimichangas and empanadas. I was buying tamales out of cars at Home Depot, and I met a guy who had dug a tunnel into Arizona. I was sneaking out every night, to get some, and I like kept a fork hidden under my mattress and napkins hidden in the walls. And then I came up to Provo and found a couple legit places. You can't go just anywhere for chips and salsa or for tacos or whatever. So and you got to be careful because some of the bigger like cartels, corporations, they'll try and sell you impure product like a chalupa with only 88% beef. But I found a few places up in Salt Lake that are pretty legit. You can get the real stuff. These vendors just like on street corners. And, they pretend they're just like reading up on their favorite telenovelas, but I know what they're up to. They're like, hey man, how spicy you want it? Mild, medium? I'm like, no, give me the spiciest you got. I have a midterm in a little bit. Got to take the edge off. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.